Your man could never pull a cookie with Kaya. He could never pull one. His entire life, he tried his hard. He could never pull one. Okay? Relax. She's not gonna take your man. She doesn't even want him. Y'all just mad because she cooking food and throwing ass. That's why y'all mad.
That's not. That's not. And the reason why I shared this video is because I've been talking about this. I talked about this today and I talked about it yesterday, but this is exactly what I'm saying. Men keep all the men are doing. We know. I wish I had the video, but on my live earlier, my mutual Jazzy was saying that men are now already starting to admit that they never really liked Kaya. Like that's not what it was about. They really just liked the fact that she pissed women off, so they started to like big Kaya up. That's all it was. This nigga is behind because he just made this video and he's still trying to play the like, y'all just mad because she cooking and throwing ass. Like, no, for the 100th time, no, that's not what it is, brother.
And one of her things is like, did nobody cook for you? Cooking with Kaya. Right? Right? And it implies that you aren't a good girlfriend, fiance, wife if you ain't cooking for her and it's a girl online with some food and ass in front of them. And y'all feeling a little territorial.
You know what's so funny about this? These be the same men that if, like, not if, that there is a trend of women, pranking their men with this, like, I can't pay the mortgage stuff. And then there's a bunch of women like, I know that's right, girl, and woody woo woo woo. These are the same men that's crashing out over that. Because mind you, most of the women aren't even saying anything about men or their man or whatever. They're just like, in their own world, watching the videos, whatever. But the men are so upset that there are all of these women that exist that don't have to pay a fucking bill. And it is driving these men crazy to no end because they're like, oh, so now I bet my woman is going to expect me not to pay, going to expect me to pay every fucking bill. They understand that. If women were to come out and start to big these women up, which some of them are, don't get me wrong, there are. And to my point though, the men are crashing out. They're like, oh, no, see, y'all just want a man for his money and blah, 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 blah. And to a certain extent, okay. Right? Like, yeah, okay, cool. So you guys are saying that women are objectifying men, right? For their money and they only see men as a wallet. Okay, cool. Let's say I give you that point. Let's say I'll give you any point you need to help you understand that about what Kaya is doing. I'll give you whatever point. I just want you to understand what the fuck is really going on, right? So if you're mad at the women who are praising the fact that there are women out there who don't have to pay a bill, right? And they're bigging up those men and they're pedestalizing those men and those relationships, right? If you can understand that, you can understand how that could come off as objectifying men, right? Because it puts men in this position where we are supposed to be quote unquote providers with AKA wallets, right? Cool. You can get that. I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna concede that to you. You got it, right? So it is about the objectification of men, which could create unhealthy, toxic situations for men. Not dangerous. I won't say dangerous at all, because it's not like the women are gonna like abuse them or anything like that. It's just the expectation, right? Which could put a lot of pressure on the man or whatever, right? And that's bad enough. I'm with y'all. Let's say I give you that. Now, Kaya is cooking food, throwing ass. Nobody cares about that. Same way nobody cares about the women, the people in the video who are the women in the video who are like, I don't have to pay for anything, right? Nobody is in that alone. The women aren't like, nobody's upset about that. It's the men that are mad at the women who are reacting and responding to that, right? They're like, hey, that's fucked up the way you guys are like, yeah, he ain't a real man if he don't pay all the bills. Okay. Kaya, or I'm sorry, let me take it back. And in those videos, if that woman, because I haven't seen a lot of them, so I'm not gonna assume, if the women in those videos are like, get you a man like this is a great man, right? Like this is a real man because he pays all the bills. If that woman is saying that, if that woman in that video is saying that, that is the same fucking thing as Kaya saying, come get you a plate, like this man just said. Come get you a plate. Here, nobody cook for you. I'll cook for you. You better cook for your man before I do. Objectifying a woman, right? Relegating a woman to a wife appliance, to a chef, to a cook, or whatever the case may be, right? A maid, a servant, whatever you want to say. But there's one major difference between these two scenarios that I need for you thick-headed Negroes to get through your head. The difference is when women feel like that about men, no harm befalls the men. There is no violence attached to that. There's no abuse that is attached to that. None. If very little, if any. Fuck it. I'll leave the door open for some. Very little, if any, abuse is attached to women feeling like I want a provider man. Very little, right? Because they don't got to manipulate the man to get the man to provide for them. They could just simply say, I'm not going to settle for a man that doesn't provide for me. The man goes into it knowing they have to provide for them and everything is blissful, right? So, quote unquote, everything's blissful. Cool. Now, when the man thinks that a woman should be a fucking wife appliance, how does that woman's life play out typically? How does the relationship function? When a man looks at a woman as an object, what tends to happen to that woman? It is directly correlated with femicide. It is directly correlated with physical violence. It is directly correlated with neglect, with emotional abuse. Directly. That thought process from men plays out way different than the thought process when a woman has the idea that a man is nothing more than a wallet. That is what men like y'all never, ever, ever fucking understand or are willing to accept. This is why I will scream at the top of my lungs. It does not go both ways. It does not go both ways. And it is not just a joke. And it is not just a girl cooking. And however you guys want to try to minimize that shit, it is not just that, man. It's not. It's always deeper than that.
Insecure, right? Because insecure online with some food and ass in front of them. And y'all feeling a little territorial. Insecure, right? Because,
and I'm not saying, once again, I'm not irrational. I'm going to give you, yep, maybe there are some women that are territorial. Maybe there are some women that get jealous. Cool, fine. That's not the majority of women though, bro. It's not. I'll give you that. Once again, see how I don't have to be absolute. I don't have to be rigid. I can actually still make my very valid point while also conceding to you whatever points you have made. Because it's not an absolute. There's very gray. There's a lot of gray areas here. So cool. Yep. But what percentage of women are jealous? 10%, 15%? Cool. Still, the vast majority of women aren't jealous, and they're just connecting the dot between the way that men view Kaya and the way that they abuse their women. That's it.
Correct me when I start lying. Stop me in my tracks when I start lying. I remember.
Then I should stop the video now because you already lied twice.
Middle of this year, we get to the end. Middle of this year, Usher was throwing his meat in a lasso around people's girls' heads, and they had their mouth open, looking for it to fall in their mouth. And men said, "Yo, that's crazy. If that was my girl, I never." Y'all was throwing ass on Chris Brown and paying millions to do so. And men said, "Yo, that's fucking crazy. People calling off marriages and all that, right?"
That is those women's choice. They made that choice to do that. What is it? What is the connection here? Are you serious? Where is this I can't wait to hear where this goes. This is crazy. Where is this going, Brother John?
Right? And y'all said these men are just insecure. Here we have, end of the year, a random lady on TikTok throwing ass.
Oh, he's trying to say that these women are insecure. Now, once again, I'll concede to you. I don't want my wife letting Usher put his meat on her. Absolutely the fuck not. I don't want that. My wife wouldn't want a woman to do that to me, and I don't want nobody to do that to my wife. The Chris Brown shit, I don't give a fuck. If she paid $1,000 and she want to take a picture with that nigga, with hugging it, wrapped her legs around, I don't give a fuck. I'm not threatened by that one bit. I definitely don't want no man's weenus on my woman's, around her neck, right? His physical weenus. Insinuating it, whatever. I once again don't care. None of that type of stuff I don't care about, right? But his physical, as long as it ain't his actual meat, I don't give a fuck, right? So I'm not insecure in that way. But if a man feels like he's uncomfortable with that, totally rational. I don't think that makes the man insecure one bit. I don't think, irrationally insecure. You could be insecure, but again, that's a lie. It ain't like the nigga said, I don't want her going outside at all because I feel like a man gonna try to talk to her. That's a different level of insecurity, right? But okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that too. But this isn't what Kaya is doing, though, by the way.
And holding plates. She throwing ass and holding plates, and y'all mad. She need to stop. She need to cut that shit out. Grow the fuck up.
Yeah, that's not what it is. Y'all go, men, this is what I'm saying. He's a perfect example of how men are they're just using Kaya. They're just using Kaya to triangulate her against other women. That's all it is. At the end of the day, that's all it is. They are playing dumb. They're acting like they don't really understand. There's no way to understand. These women are just crazy and irrational and whatever. But that's not the case at all.